So we just want to take this time to say welcome to another episode of Real Talk, Real Money with Dennis and Ian. Well, tonight the conversation is really gonna be a whole overview regarding the just concluded the World Championship, athletics championship over there in Tokyo, Japan. And Dennis, as we know, two-time Olympian, medalist is gonna take charge of this one and that I just gonna do some quick recap, ask him a few questions and let him share, pick at his athletic brain, given the fact that he represented Jamaica several times, from the 1990s, you know, and we can go back and mention that great relay that will never leave our mind and our thought when they had a fall and
Mm-hmm.
Gregory Horton rise, run, and the medal in that one. Dennis, welcome to another episode of the Real Talk, Real Money, which we know you're the host, but tonight, man, you're gonna be sitting in the hot seat, all right?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me again, man. Yeah, this should be a nice conversation. Yeah,
Yes, then
yeah,
it definitely gonna be one because as I said, I'll be picking at your brain, and given the fact that this is your pet sports basically when it comes on to athletics and track and field.
yeah.
So Dennis, with this championship that had just taken place right there in Tokyo, Japan, we know Jamaica is when I say lit, it is lit. Everybody's excited, when we celebrate gold medals, silver, bronze, and sometimes
Mhm.
just the fact that they're there to support their home country, we see where Jamaica come together through sports, In terms of athletics, could you tell us how big of a sports this is when it comes on to Jamaican, local and abroad?
Well, to be honest with you, I when you I always try to compare soccer with track and field, and I'm a little bit skewed, I would say, that track and field seems to be a favorite sports for a lot of Jamaicans. As a matter of fact, they will love soccer, yeah, the same, and people will say, "Boy, soccer draw the most attention and all that type of thing." And that might be true, but track and field has, um, over the years, have been rubbing shoulder side to side with soccer, and you can tell from the level of excitement and the energy that track and field bring over the years, from way back from Bertrand Cameron, Merlin Attian, and the list goes on and on. As a matter of fact, from her McKinley them days, track and field has been pushing forward. Small country like Jamaica, small island like Jamaica has been so competitive over the years, and there's no stopping us now, as the song would say. We're still on the right trajectory, even after Hussein Bolt retired.
All right, Dennis. We hear this statement over and over again. It's like when you go to school back in the days, primary school, and the bell would ring, and it's every day you hear that. But we hear
Mm-hmm.
this saying over and over again. Jamaica, little but with Talawa.
Hello.
Um, Going over to this championship, we sent over a few athletes, and Jamaica will at times look like a little dot on the map compared to some of these nations that
Mm-hmm.
compete or we compete against. For Jamaica to take home 10 medals, a gold, and about 6 silver, 3 bronze. Um, Tell us what that means, the slogan, we're little but with Talawa. And, in terms of our medal count, finishing in the top 10 every time. Just tell us something about what that means as
Uh,
Jamaica.
yeah, and I mean, I think pretty much everybody's supposed to know that slogan by now. That what it's really saying is that, look how small we are, and look at the impact that we have made, continuously making over the years. And it's not, when you really look at it, it's really broader than track and field. We have made some great impact in many different areas, from beauty to music, to again to sports and food and all that type of thing. Um, Jamaica, small as it is, you say, I look at that, sometimes you can't even see it on the map. You know what I mean? And um, everybody want to be associated with Jamaica. Um, it doesn't matter where they are in the world, they know about Jamaica. And if you ask them about other islands, they really, some of them don't never hear the name before, because when they say from the islands, the first name that comes up is Jamaica. We're a little bit with Talawa, and it really speaks volume.
All right. So you see, because it's a little bit with Talawa, there were some standout moments there, for this world championship. And I'm gonna break it down. But first, we're gonna take out two. We have, one is oblique civil in that 100-meter goal, and we're gonna dissect this one because as we know, in the heats, he barely make it because I don't know what happened, but he was left in the blocks, and
Mm-hmm.
really and truly, he had to run for this one. And then we are gonna go to Shelly-Ann Fraser Price, the pocket
Oh,
rocket. And
yes,
you
yes.
can say you lick about your Talawa. This is one little lady. I don't know how her legs turn over so fast, but
Yeah.
she was also a standout personnel. Every eyes was on her because this championship would have marked the end of her professional career,
Yeah.
according
Right.
to Shelly-Ann Fraser Price herself. I
Mm-hmm.
also heard that she said this does not mean that she stopped running. So guys, remember we'll see Shelly-Ann running again because she said she have a little son school thing to
To
run.
run, yeah.
so so
School.
don't count Shelly-Ann out. It's not over, but her professional athletic career would have come to an end here. And I also heard where she mentioned that like this is where it started. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could just now go to Shelly-Ann Fraser Price, I wanna first say congratulations, Shelly. You have done well for Jamaica. We're proud of you. And I don't think nobody else could carry Jamaica flag or banner as well as Shelly-Ann have done based on her journey and what she has overcome, what she continued to do. From the moment she hit the track, we know Shelly-Ann was gonna be great. All right.
Yeah.
But Shelly-Ann has done things that I think a lot of athletes will only dream about. You know, she have rock pocket so many medals, and I'm talking championship medals. But to know that Shelly-Ann, the way she started is just like the way she finished. She been through an era, and I look at her running that leg on the relay, starting it off, and I am telling you, she look like she have a lot left in her. So, Dennis, what I want to ask you, with an athlete like Shelly-Ann Fraser Price being able to dominate the short sprint for so many years, even the fact that she had a child and she come back and is competing against younger girls, you know, people who don't even know what it is to be a mother. But she was able to do this and, being a mother and at the same time being a professional athlete and doing this at the highest level. Just break down Shelly-Ann in a way you can. I know we will not be able to finish this conversation tonight, but just
Yeah.
something about Shelly-Ann.
Yeah, it's true, because and that is when you really look at again the phrase a little bit Talawa, she demonstrated that in her track and field career. She, I know at this meet, you know, people probably was hoping that this would not be her last event, last race, last 100 meter, flat 100 meter. But I think she has carried Jamaica for so many years, and I believe that she need to be highly recognized for her athletic career. Back then, it used to be Merlin Attic who was known as the Bronze Queen, She was the one that was really, at the forefront of track and field back then in my time. The fact that she come our sixth place in the 100 meters, the question is, did it matter that she didn't medal, or was just being there, com- being competitive, if that was just enough? And I strongly believe just being there, for her to make the team at that age. Again, you mentioned that she had a child and then she come back and she did so well. Um, Amazing athlete, an amazing competitor. And not only that, but what makes Chilean stand out is because of her personality. She has a great charisma that draw attention, that make people listen to what she has to say. And we just, wish her all the best. We know that she had said that she might done running or stop running on the professional level, but we will see her, and I'm sure the world will get to see her at her son's sports day and all that type of thing, running and competing just to maybe just for fun, you know. Amazing athlete.
Um, Dennis, looking at Shellyan, and as I said, I really want to talk about the endurance, over the
Mhm.
years. You know, you being an athlete yourself, it's not easy work. But just tell us, how does an athlete manage to keep the form, the shape for such a long period and still be competitive?
But again, it takes it's not just one thing. It's a combination of things, right? There are many variables. So it will be like she definitely have to stay focused on her goals. What is it that she want to accomplish, right? She know that she has to work hard, and not at her age she would have worked. I would say smart, right? Smart over hard, because she would have done the hard work coming up to her age at this point. So she know that there are certain things that she wouldn't be able to do like the other younger athletes that she's training with or competing against. Um, so I think with Shelly would use a lot of wisdom. She would use a lot of experience, her experiences that she have had over accumulated over the years. She would have had to use all of that in not only in competition but also in training, and she had to have the right people around her. That's one thing for sure. She has to have the right people around her, and that include her husband, right? She need the support from her husband. She would need the support from her coach, our coaches. Everybody that is around her have to understand what her goals and aspirations are. And if they're not in line with what her vision is, then that would make it more challenging for her, especially at her age. Um, so I believe that she has some really good people that care about her and want to see her do well.
All right, Dennis, thank you for sharing that with us. We know we want to get to one of the other standout moment, which is Oblique Civil and
Mhm.
Kishan over there in terms of the 100 meter. But the fact that we're talking about Shelly and Fraser, you know, we also have to talk about the new generation that is stepping up. And when I talk or say this, I cannot help to mention the performance of Tina Clayton
Yeah,
giving us that silver medal.
she's an amazing athlete too, and I think I think it was such a powerful moment um, when they embrace each other after that race. It's almost like a relay baton. It's almost like she's just passing on. That when you look at both of them embracing each other, you could actually feel or see, or you know what I mean. The passing off of the baton, so to speak. Um, so I don't, you never know. She might be the next Shelley and Fraser, so to speak. Yeah, that was a aha moment.
All right, so we want to have to take it through this event, and also, the ladies. Let's just deal with the ladies first, and the ladies before gentlemen. So, guys, if you're waiting to hear us when we unpack oblique civil, you know, you have to wait a little longer because I'm gonna go to one of our next top athlete, and you know who I'm coming with now, Dennis. So you could guess our next best 100-meter sprinter. She did not make the podium this season, but she represented us well. Could you tell which athlete I'm talking about now?
In Has she running the 200?
I'm not giving you a clue, Dennis. She run 100-meter too.
Yeah,
So,
Sharika Jackson, Sharika. Yeah, Sharika
yes, sir,
Jackson.
you got the answer to that one. Yeah, Sharika Jackson, a
Mm.
standout athlete. She been known to dominate that 200-meter. Over the years. Also, we have seen where she's a powerhouse in terms of the 100-meter. But this season, she did not pull through as expected. Nevertheless, she medaled again in the 200-meter, a bronze medal. Tell us, if you were Sharika Jackson, I know the expectation was high for her going in. Um, how would you walk away from this championship?
Well, in her case, if I was in her shoes, I would walk away from this championship elated, and the reason for that is knowing that she was injured, and so she would not have had the level of training that would have been required maybe to compete at her best. I think she ought to be proud of her performance, and the country ought to be proud of her performance. We can look for great things from her as she continues to progress. Um, One other thing you have to understand is that running at these games, you're talking about the best in the world that are competing at these games. So you have to have your A game. It's not like you can go there and if you look, you'll find out that some of the semifinals are much faster than the finals. And some people run their PR in the semifinals, some people run their PR in the heats because it is that competitive and they want to make sure that they make it to the final. You know what I mean? So for her, and she ran an exceptionally amazing time in the semifinal, which I think put her among the top athletes in the world. She ought to be proud, and I'm very proud of her. We can look for great things from her. She just needs to stay healthy.
Big up Sharika. That was a close finish still. But
Mm-hmm.
nevertheless, she still medaled in her pet event, which was a 200
200.
meter. We
Yes.
could not be more proud of our Jamaican ladies. you know. And when we talk now, we gotta go putting it all together. We have the 4 by 100 where we secure that silver medal. We also have the 4 by 400. Our ladies again come through for us, another silver medal. Tell us what you think, Dennis, in terms of our level of readiness, in terms of going out and representing Jamaica. You know, tell us, what do you think about our program that we have, in terms of putting out all these top athletes year after year after year. Tell us how you see the future for our Jamaican girls, when it comes on to athletics going into the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. I honestly believe that Jamaica is a powerhouse when it comes to track and field. Uh, we know that you know this is not just happening now. This has been happening for decades, right? And I strongly believe that the track and field prospect for Jamaica sprinting, female sprinting, looks very great because we have many athletes behind these young ladies. My hope and prayer is that Jamaica will not only look at them as just athletes, but look at them as professional athletes who need support, right? And we know we talk about it here before about the athletes that are migrating and stuff like that. And I know that that is a big problem that the Jamaica Association is now faced with. As a matter of fact, heard somewhere where they're now seeking help from I think from the World Athletic Association to come up with some stringent rule for those countries that have the bandwidth, have the money and all that type of thing to support athletes and take them away from different countries. So that is something that the Olympic Association, the World, they will be taking a good look at that and come up with some policies to make it more difficult. I assume make it more difficult for athletes to migrate. But back to the athletes, I just hope also that the association will not take the athletes for granted. They will not take the athletes for granted because I think that is one of the biggest problems they have is that they don't care about the athletes. They look at the athlete and say, okay, so that person is hurt, but we have 10 more coming behind, so it doesn't matter. And then just leave them by the wayside. And I think athletes are now realizing what is happening and they're making drastic changes. And I'm just hoping that they take um, a serious look at the association. And also the private sectors need to come in and sponsor these athletes and help them.
All right. Thank you there, Dennis. And that's really a issue in terms of, as you said, we're losing our athletes to country that may provide better incentive, in terms of monetary value. And we
Hmm.
see some of our athletes is basically being traded off to other country. And I think it's more like happening inside of the field events. And the fact that we talk about field events, I know people are waiting still for us to unpack the 100 meter with oblique and Kishane. But I just want to talk quickly about Tajay Gale, the men's long jump, silver medalist again here. The
Mm,
field event, we know we probably could have done better in terms of overall, because as we know, we have lose a few of our field event athletes to another country, not gonna
yes,
name
yes.
country now.
Hmm.
But just tell us, how do you feel about this young man, long jump, field event, taking home a silver medal for Jamaica?
And that is that I'm sure that is an awesome feeling, not only for him. You could tell the excitement, and uh, I'm not even sure if Jamaica was expecting a medal in that event. But he ended up leaving with a silver medal, which I think is an awesome performance. I strongly believe that the 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 country has the island has some prospective athletes coming up behind him. And I would suggest that, even though we have some athletes, field event athletes leaving, that they will do something again. I have to go back there. They will do something to that will some incentivize the athletes so that they stay. And I don't know what that would be. It seems like it would be um, funding. So that is something that they will have to work on. But I think it was a great performance. He did very well, and the future is bright for that athlete. Really bright for him, and he just have to just keep working at it.
The fact that we just mentioned Tajay, I just want to give a shout out to the coach, Ricketts, over there in St. Elizabeth. Um, he also coaches his wife, and a very, very amazing, great coach. I don't think he has been given the recognition that he really deserved. Very good, talented uh, field event coach. Overall, I think he could be a great coach in any unit, in the Jamaica unit. So we just want to give it up to the coaches also. We're talking about the athletes, but we cannot forget the people behind them, the coaches.
Yeah.
And with that, Dennis, here's a question for you. Could you tell me in the last 5, 10 years, who would you give the number one coaching position too if you had a chance. And this is based on athlete performance. Let's see if you get this one.
For the past 10 years.
Yep.
Um, I don't know. It's a tight one, man. I probably would maybe give Glenn Mills the edge. I
All
probably
right.
would give Glenn
I'm
Mills
not
the
gonna
edge.
let you. I'm giving you a stick. So two, and that's it. I'm giving Glenn Mills. I'm not going any further.
Okay.
Reason being, as I said, it based on performance. If you put out an athlete like Usain Bolt,
Mhm.
Lightning Bolt, the most talked about athlete right now, even when he's not competing,
Yeah.
that tells you something. And now we're gonna get to civil. A young man that I don't think a lot of people saw the potential. He identified it. He told us to look out for this young man. And here we
Hmm.
have it. World Athletics Championship, civil, oblique civil. And I really want to dive deep into this guy. He showed resilience. He showed determination. He showed that he belonged there. And he was ordained, as I say, to be on that podium. This
Then,
gentleman, I don't know if you watch and you went and we go back to the heats. I don't know what happened, but he was left in the blocks.
mm,
And he had to run for this one, Dennis. He had to run for this one. So I want you to just take it from the mindset standpoint. You're going there. I think from what I was hearing and all the, the predictions, you thought
hmm,
Kishane would be given the edge over Oblique in this particular event. You know, but
hmm.
to see the young man in that 100-meter heat, left in the blocks, had to run his heart out to actually make third place so he could actually get into the semifinals. You know, tell me the type of feeling. Put yourself here, Dennis, because we know you a 400-meter runner for Jamaica for over a decade there. And what does this do to an athlete when you realize what just could have happened? Something like this, a close one. I say it's a
Hmm.
close one. When the expectation was so high.
Yeah, and the expectation is not just for him. The expectation is also for his coach, the country, is looking at him with with an open eye, right? They're expecting him to do very well, and the coach Glenn Mills would have instruct him and have you know the right type of conversation with him that he should stay focused. Just go there. You have done the work. Just go there. Stay focused on what you need to get to do and to get the job done. Um, Having to run back after such a bad start would be a devastating situation. But what I like about a coach, a good coach, not just only coach the physical, they also coach your mindset, right? And I think he did a very good job with that in terms of, okay, I might start last, but that doesn't mean that I can't make the next round. And I think with that level of not necessarily resilience, but that level of mindset, and that would have had to be something that is passed on from the coach to the athlete, right? That you can't just give up. Not even when the baton, even if when you're running the relay and the baton job, you have a responsibility to pick it up and keep running. You just can't give up. And Jamaicans are known to be that type of uh, we have that type of a drive in us. You know what I mean? We don't give up that easy. We don't give up that easy because there. And the thing about it is that he's so fast, and he remind me of Johan Blake. He surely remind me of Johan Blake. Johan Blake, I think, would be able to do the same thing that he does. Amazing, amazing comeback.
So you see why I gave Glenn Mills, the number one coach, because you just
Yeah.
mentioned another of his top athlete, Ewan Blake. Remember, Ewan Blake was one of the fastest man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, actually, he had a gold medal to prove it when we had Usain basically having probably the worst memory in his entire career when that false start.
Yeah.
That was like our big hope. Ewan Blake, brother,
Step up.
showed us that guess what? It's not just Usain here. You have the next thunder, you know, the
Yeah.
lightning over there, the thunder is ready. And he showed the world what he possessed. Another top athlete of Glenn Mills. So if you see Usain Bolt, Ewan Blake, Seville Oblique right now, he's gonna be the name that you'll hear being mentioned for the next 5, 6 years. Just the fact of what he did. And also saying this, I don't know. I'll say this. I don't want anybody beat me up. No. I don't want to get no beat up, but I'm gonna say this. You know, I think Noah Lyles. Noah Lyles is a great athlete. I
Yes, he
can't take
is.
it from him. He,
Yeah,
he,
he
he
is.
behaved the way he behaved, and I think he used it to mentally affect other athletes. What
Mm-hmm.
Noah does on the track. Overall, I think Noah is a great person. He has great personality. Many of us may not like him, but he has the medals to prove that, guess what? He's also one of the world's best.
Oh, yeah, he is.
And I think in his statement there, when Oblique almost miss out on qualifying, I think it triggered something in Oblique. I don't know, but I think this kind of triggered something in him where he's like,
Mm-hmm.
just wait till we catch you at the final.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So,
What I like about the Jamaican athletes, right? What I like about us Jamaican athletes is that we make them do the talking. You know what I mean? Them do the talking, we do the action. And I think, we have seen that over the years, that a lot of athletes from Jamaica, they allow them to talk as much as they want. And then when we go on the track, and as a matter of fact, you find out, say, a lot of athletes outside of, especially American athletes, that always running off their mouth and stuff like that. You find out that Jamaican athletes don't really say anything. And they might beat a Jamaican athlete and they feel happy and good. But when it comes to the major meets, like the World Championship, the Olympics, then that is when the Jamaica athletes just step up. You know what I mean? We see that over and over and over again. You know.
with that, I just want to say congratulations to Oblique Civil. Great run. We're proud of you. 9.77 seconds. Ah, that's a
Mm,
fast time, given the
yeah.
fact that you had to put so much into your heat to come back. And 1-2 now, Dennis. 1-2. Kishane Thompson. I can feel it for Kishane. I feel Kishane knew uh, that he had this medal, like just to take it from them, just to say, put it in my hand. And
Mm-hmm.
he missed it by the margin of a second. Even though it was to his fellow countryman, I feel Kishin knew that somehow he probably had just made a slip by him by like this.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, he said he's proud. He had make us proud. So I'm gonna have you unpack a little bit on Kishin in terms of the feeling after the preparation and the expectation and all that people have of you and probably you of yourself, you know. But not to take away from this 1-2 finish. Civil and Kishin beating Noah Lies. Tell us about this 100-meter race.
Well, absolutely, and I'm sure he would have felt somewhere. And I mean, any athlete would have felt somewhere. There's so much at stake when you don't win a race, when you are so close. You know what I mean? It's not like it was he was way back or stuff like that. It was so close, and any human being would feel a way about not winning. But I would say that you know that type of feeling is not going to be forever. It's going to be temporary. It's a feeling that over a period of time, he and his coach would analyze what happened and you know do the necessary adjustment, the necessary training to come back and at another major meet and to perform at a higher standard. But one thing I want to say here is that he has to be also be proud of his performance because he was also one guy that played with a lot of injuries. And so to come back, almost like Sharika, to come back and win a silver medal, um, I say kudos and hat off to that guy. He did very, very well, and he ought to be proud of his performance at these games.
All right. So big up to a top athlete them. We're proud of you guys. No,
Absolutely.
Dennis. Yeah, we have another athlete that I want to talk about, and this is the men's 110 hurdles. Orlando Bennett. Beautiful run from him again, making us proud
Mm.
again. You know, tell us no, this is considered, I think, a field event, or if I'm not wrong, the hurdles. Is it a sprint or is a field event? It's considered as Dennis. I'm not sure.
No, it's considered it's considered a sprint.
All right. So the sprint factory.
Hmm.
Now, with this young man bringing us home a silver medal. Over the years, we have realized that Jamaica has become a dominant factor when it comes to the sprint factory.
Hmm.
But we know the hurdles, it's a little different from just running a flat 100-meter.
Yeah.
No, I think you have to concentrate because you have a barrier to get over. You have to land right. You have to sprint in between. You have to jump. Tell us,
Yeah,
you know,
it's all about technique. It's all about
yes,
it's one of the most technical events.
yeah, you tell me
And
about this race, Dennis, because
yeah,
most time I see people run it, I say, that person could win the 100-meter. They have to jump and do all
yeah.
of this and drop back on the palm and keep it and,
Mm.
you know, and
And,
finishing.
yeah, and a lot of
Tell,
times, a lot of these hurdlers also run. They'll you have countries sometimes use them to run on relay legs and stuff like that because they're that fast. Um, so and they will do a lot of 100-meter workout to help them to help them with the speed that they need to run the 110 hurdles. But it's a very technical event. It requires a lot of concentration. It's almost like studying for an exam. You don't want to hear any noise. You don't even want to hear a pin drop. You're just in that zone. And they have to get in that zone whenever time they run in the hurdles. Because there's a certain number of steps to the very first hurdle. And if you don't get that step, you might as well, call it a day, right? And that step is either is when you get out of the blocks, and if you don't get that step to the first hurdle, what is going to happen is that you're either going to lick into the hurdle, you're either going to get slower because you're going to jump over the hurdle too high, right? If you get over it and you don't land right, it's going to mess up your performance going to the next hurdle because when you get over that first hurdle, every hurdle coming like it's getting closer and closer to you. The hurdles getting closer and closer because the faster you get, because remember that you you get in top speed when you reach maybe three hurdles, and everything just coming closer. All the hurdles just getting closer and closer to you, and that's why you find out. Like I think it was Gail Devers back in 1992, right? Back in 1992 in Barcelona, Spain, when she was neck and neck to the hurdles, and the last hurdle, I think she licked into the hurdles, and she did that dive in the air to the finish line, almost like a reminder of Gregory Harton. Dive to the finish line, man. If you just make one mistake, you can call it a day. you have to be extremely fast in order to make a comeback like Seville. The hurdles, hats off to hurdlers, man. I used to run the hurdles too back in college. It's no joke.
Well, with that said, I'm gonna say hats off to Orlando Bennett, because you just
Yes.
explaining it. That just it's hard to just even process the race. Just imagine you're doing this over and over and
Yeah.
to end up on the podium. Big up yourself, Orlando. Well done. We appreciate it. We appreciate everything you do. Now, Dennis, I'm gonna come and talk about you guys on that relay now. Because people watching you, I'm gonna tell you guys, I'll bring you guys back. This gentleman here, Dennis Blake, he is was a part of that memorial relay when he mentioned Gregory Horton, Davian Clark. So it's one of those really that still live with us up to today. If they go back to that, that showed again resilience. But before we get to Dennis and asking him about that particular race, if he could go back to, it was 1994, Dennis?
1996.
1996, all the way back. But before you get to that, Dennis, now we're going to go to the men's 100, 4 by 100 relay. We were expected to be top contender. You just name out all of the sprinter. We had 1, 2 in the 100. We have a silver medal in the hurdle. We have so many guys that could put on our team. Now, Dennis, the unimaginable happened. We never want to go to bed and dream said Jamaica drop another. Batner just had a mishap in exchange. With the 4 by 1 relay, and our men did not make it. And you see what happened. The world saw what happened. Tell us if you could walk us through this particular race and just kind of break down what you think these guys are feeling, especially when you know that you possibly could win this event.
Yeah, it is a dramatic event. It really was a dramatic event. And we, I was listening to one of the coach prior to even before. As a matter of fact, leading up to the games, he had a concern. I think he might have been the head coach for the 4 by 1 team. And I just want to add, I just want to put a plug here that not people have to understand, not because you run in Olympics or you run in the World Championship and you win a medal, that doesn't necessarily make you a coach. You understand? It doesn't make you a good coach. It doesn't make you. Uh, uh, and I think they give him this responsibility. And when you have athletes that you're coaching, um, it, it, it is going to be a problem. It is going to be a problem because as a coach, you want to see your athletes on the team. You're going to want to put your athletes on there to compete, whether they compete 1 round or 2 rounds in the race. And I think from what I'm hearing, is that he has an athlete that he coached. As a matter of fact, on social media, people are talking about the first leg run 10.4 or 10.6. They take it, make a joke. You know what I mean? And I think coaches need to understand their role. Coaches that goes on these meets, these national meets represent where the athletes are representing Jamaica, and they are representing Jamaica too. They need to take into consideration how that the country send them there, the country's tax money send them there, and they must make the best decisions. They go on to these meets and they want their athletes who are running 10.4 and 10.5 and 10.6 to run on the team when you have athletes that can run 9 something. It just don't make sense. It just don't make sense at all. And I think whether it is true or not, that is the conversation that is on social media. That the guy who run the first leg, I guess they just say he run 10.4 or 10.6, and the reason why they might be saying it is because it was so slow. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy, man. But with that said, uh, the coach was talking about the athletes, them. Uh, well, he said something that I really agree with, that Jamaica need to select more athletes for relays. They either need to carry all 8 athletes or up to 7 athletes or so, because the athletes need to be able to rest to rest some of the athletes. They need to be able to rest some of the athletes that, because it's the athletes that make it to the 100-meter final, they need to rest their legs in order to be able to compete. But the problem is that these athletes, they don't get, from what the coach was saying, is that there's no chemistry for some of these athletes because they don't get the time to practice the handoff properly. Now, one conversation was saying that they had enough time to train. Um, they were, some of them were at the camp, that they have. Some of them didn't turn up at the camp. You're hearing all different kind of stories. You don't know which one to believe. But if it is that they did not have enough time to practice, that is a problem, because you need to be able to have chemistry. And if there's no chemistry, you're going to have these type of results. Button changing is, I mean, countries look at Jamaican when it comes to button passes, right? Jamaicans don't drop buttons. You know what I mean? Jamaicans don't drop buttons. And when you're running a 4x1, right, there's so many things that you have to look at. You have to look at to make sure that you get the baton within the exchange zone, right? You can't get it before it, because if you get it before it and after it, you're going to be disqualified. You have to get it within the zone, right? That's one thing. You have to move the athlete that is moving away from the person that is bringing the baton, have to be running at some top speed in order to make a smooth button change so that the athletes don't run up into him. It has to be right. There's so much technical things about the 4x1, right? Again, Jamaicans don't drop batons. You hold on to the baton until you know that the athlete has it in his hand. You can feel it, or you can see it, and then you let it go. And I don't know. This 4x1 was a joke.
I think a lot of us are disappointed in that um, button change, the drop button. Some people would say, as you said, the team who they choose to run on that one, you
No
know.
chemistry.
But for for anything, we were looking at least to be in the finals,
That's it.
you know, because
Jamaica would.
automatically,
Jamaica would. Let me tell you, Jamaicans. Let me tell you something about Jamaica. What I realized, for one, Jamaican love winners. That's, Jamaican love winners, and then they will bring it down to a medal. They will bring it down to making it to the final. You understand? They will sing your praise and all that type of thing. But Jamaican don't like these type of foolishness, because the thing about it, I mean, nobody's perfect and everybody can make mistakes and stuff like that. But Jamaicans are brutal, man. They- I- just think about it. You will have a singer go on stage and they will stone you off if you start to sing some song that they don't even like. You see what I'm
ah,
saying? And Jamaicans are the best people, and they're also the worst. When they love you, they love you, but when they hate you, they hate you. I mean, I watch a YouTube channel when Hussein Bolt, when I interview Hussein Bolt on this program with this guy. I think he passed. And and he was saying that when he moved into the neighborhood, that they didn't like him. When he moved into a particular apartment, they warned him that you can't, they're not going to like you the way you think they're going to like you. And he had to move out. He had to move out. Listen, man,
welcome to Jamaica, the best country there is, brother.
they're the best, man. They're the best. They're the
We
best.
have it all, and that's the thing about it. Out of many, one people though, and that's a good thing about Jamaica. So the early slogan, "We little but we tall was
Kind of
stand out," you
stand
know,
out.
and out of many, one people, many, one. So
Mhm.
if Jamaica choose to stand together, trust me, nobody can beat we.
Nobody that I can beat you,
And that's why I said, as a little dot on the map, in comparison, if you were to say we're gonna compare ourselves with number, population, Jamaica would never expect to even be shown on the TV screen.
yeah.
But when you look at our little population, and every race, we basically have somebody in it. Every sprint, we're looking at one, two, three that can possibly win. And with
All the
that, I
way,
just wanna
all the way up to 800, man. All the way
no,
up to
that's
800.
the guy in the 800. I was gonna talk about him, Dennis. I am telling you, this young man did not medal, but I enjoyed the race. He
Yeah,
ran his heart out. I'm
out.
gonna say big up to that man there.
Big up to him.
Big
Big
up
up to
yourself.
him, man. Yes.
And also I wanna big up the two bronze medalists, Tyler Mason and Brian Level in the 200
Mm,
and Tyler Mason in the 110. Also the hurdles there.
yeah.
Thank you guys for those bronze medal. We appreciate it. We really, you know, happy that you guys went out there and represent us so well. For those who did the medal, we love on us same way.
Same way. Same way.
We give thanks for So sometimes we just want to see the colors, Dennis. Just like oh yeah, we wear the Jamaica hat and the shirt there. We just want to see the colors.
Yes.
Once we see the colors, we mellow, we happy, and
Yeah.
you elevate it to a different level. So we're gonna tell our athletes we're really happy for all that they have done for us over there in at the World Athletics. It
And
was
also,
really
I just want to add that we also have to say thanks for those spectators that travel from here over there to support the athletes. We had a nice contingent in the stadium, in a little spot, and it was so nice to see when they turned the camera on them. The Jamaican color just stand out. There's something about the Jamaica color. It just gives you confidence. It gives you a level of not just confidence, but here I am type of attitude, like a lion. I'm right here and I'm here about business. It says all of that. The color says all of that. It's bold. It is I am here and I'm here to win. You're not going to beat me unless you put out your best, care what you do. I mean, it says all of those things. All of those things the color says, man. The color is amazing.
yeah man, we love the Jamaican colors. Dennis, I think I was gonna close out this and didn't tickle your brain or tell you say I would have pick at you. But guess what? This was a good one. This is the one that you take the podium. But what I want you to do, Dennis, is to just bring back the people so who don't know will know who is Dennis Blake. So I tell them just tell them in a nutshell the races that you represent Jamaica in, some of the medals that you gain. But what I want you to break down for me tonight is that 4x4 relay in 1996 with you and Gregory Harton and Davian Clark, and you name the rest of the team yourself. I want you to break down that event. Gregory Harton roll over, flip over, poop a lick or whatever. Now drop the back now just say, hang on to it and down the road, band the back stretch. And, yo,
Yeah.
that was the race that I will always remember. But I wanted to talk us through it and how it felt when you guys were able to raise Jamaica flag again, collecting a medal on the podium. Because I know this is what most athletes represent for. They represent the country that they wanna, the fact that they
Mm.
are representing their country. But at the end of the day, the individuality it's like you get your individual pay. Here is a medal. Well done. Walk us through that, Dennis.
So, you know, this is not something that I do all the time. You know what I mean? I don't really tell people about me. I always have people tell people about me, right? So this is kind of strange. So
Actually, I was gonna pick at you.
I've competed in two world championships and I've won a silver medal. I've competed in two world university games and I have won a silver medal. I've competed in two Olympic games and I've won a bronze medal. I've competed at the Pan American Games. I've competed at the CSE Games. Um, there's only two major meets I think I've never competed at, and that was the World Indoor Championship, and um, I think there's another one. Um, so, and I've won medals at all of those major meets. Um, I won the 400 meter. I was a 400 meter champion, 1993 at the Jamaica Trials. Uh, I yeah. and I never win a medal at boys champs, even though I felt like I should have, but I never win a medal at boys champs. And then um, turned to the 1992 Olympics. I competed in two events, the 400-meter flat, because I came third at the Jamaica Trials in 1992. And I also run the first leg on the 4x4 relay in 1992. I run the first leg and we're disqualified. We're disqualified because the person that I hand off the baton to stepped on the inside of the lane. I think he made about 3 steps or 4 steps on the inside, and so we were disqualified. Um, that was not, we were too happy about that. Fast forward in 1996, um, I was able to fulfill my dream and my goals. My dream was to win an Olympic medal. And so my after leaving 1992, my focus was the 1996 Olympics. Because not only that, is that I was getting older and the younger athletes were getting faster. Technology was coming around more. So I had to kind of hurry up. It's almost like you're hurrying up. So I had to make a decision when I was in college. I had my last semester to graduate with my bachelor's, and I had to make a decision. Do I stay and train, or do I take off and go home and train solely to make the team? And I did what many of you would have done. I took off from school, I went home, and I trained solely to make the team. And God would have it that I came sixth. They taken 6 athletes, and I came sixth at the games. And I went to the Olympics, and I run on the 4x4. And again, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you, Gregory Harton, for doing that acrobatic, popalik, not letting go of the baton type running. Because I said, I have to tell him thanks. I have to tell him thanks because I don't know if I was Gregory Harton, if I would have done that. I probably would have said, oh, there's no way I can catch those guys again. But he didn't do that. And I tell you, that is the level of resilience and the level of the mindset that we talked about earlier that is in our athletes. It is not, it's twofold. You can either born with it or you can work your way into it, where you would need your coach and the people around you to have that level of mindset. And again, the boldness of the Jamaica color, the boldness of Jamaican people, the support that you have behind you will allow you to create the mindset that you need in order to be successful in track and field. Gregory Harton, when he moved off, um, the incoming runner foot touched the back of his back leg. I'm not sure which one you would say the back leg is, because if you're running, one have to be in the back, right? So one back, his leg, his foot hit his back leg. It tripped him. He break his fall. I mean, that is amazing, because normally I don't. For somehow I think he might have played football, because he was able to break his fall. By breaking his fall, he did that pupalik, we call it back in Jamaica, acrobatic type movement, and back up on his feet and started running. And when I spoke to him, he said, I happened to talk to him no, not him. Somebody else told me that he said when he was running down the back straight, all he's thinking about is how he let his team down, how he let his team down. And when he realized that he was in third place, it really kind of gave him the drive to continue. But he felt bad. And we had Gregory Hart and Davian Clark on here. I don't think we had a chance to talk to him about it as well. But he was so mad because he was running the anchor leg. He was running the last leg. And I was watching. I was watching how pissed he was that when he passed the finish line, he took the baton and threw it away, man. He threw the baton away. That wasn't sportsmanlike, but I could understand why he did that. He threw the baton away. He was so mad. He was so mad. Because I'm telling you, in that race would have been the race of our life, because I think it was Great Britain and the US, and Jamaica was really neck and neck. And Gregory and Davian was ready to run. I think that race, he had made up his mind that he was giving like maybe 200%. And man, when he saw the baton drop and all of that, it was a bittersweet moment. But now we can look back at it and say, man, thank you, Gregory Harden, for getting up and run again. Because I'm telling you, like I said, I don't know if I would have been able to do that. And that is it in a nutshell. Read the book. Read the book.
Yeah, give us the name of the book, Dennis, because you're not give the name. You can also read the book.
Yeah. Secrets behind the flag. Secrets behind the flag.
Right, guys. So there you have it. And it's on Amazon.
Yes, it is on Amazon. Correct.
All right. Well, Dennis, we just want to say thank you for sharing the stage with me tonight, which is
Yes,
your
sir.
platform. But it's all about athletics. Who else would we want to have on here than you, and somebody who has been there and, who have seen it all. And as you have just explained in the last race there, that 4x4, this is what happened from time to time. The ups and the downs, but it all happened in that one race. Because as you said, Gregory went down. Actually, the team would have felt that this is it. This is a sad moment. Then he bounced back. I said he rolled, he pupa lick, whatever he did, he's back on his feet and he continued running. That showed our resilience, how
Mm,
strong of athletes we are, both with the mind will, from the mindset standpoint, both from the physical point to overcome that fall and still pick himself up and run again. And just to see that at the end of it all, despite Davian was upset because I know he wanted to put, this legs to the track up
mhm.
against those other athletes. Everybody were at the top of the game. And, but at the end of the game, you guys stood tall on that podium and collected your medals. And that made Jamaica proud. And even the fall and the picking up himself, I think that meant more than the medal itself.
Oh,
When we
absolutely.
look back
Absolutely.
today
Look back.
in terms of what you guys have done in 1996. And for that, we just want to say thank you. Thank you, Jamaica, all the athletes, all the sportsmen and women who represent Jamaica at some form. You didn't have the medal, but just the fact that you were able to show up for Jamaica, I know it's no easy thing. It takes a lot of discipline and hard work
Hard work.
for
Mhm.
you to be at the best of your game that you can represent your home country. So just the fact that you make a Jamaican national team, you are among the best of the best in the
In
world.
the world.
Remember that. Because
In the
wherever we
world.
go, we compete. And not that we just compete, but we dominate when it comes on to track and field.
Yeah.
So guys, we want to thank you all who support our Jamaican athletes. You mentioned those spectators, some of them have traveled all from different parts of the world to be there in Tokyo, in Japan, just to show that
In
guess
their
what?
Jamaican colors, man. In their
Yep.
Jamaican colors. Yeah.
It was something, and I enjoy this. I enjoy this championship. It brings out a lot of
Hmm.
memories also, and lasting memories that will come from it. Shelly and Fraser are gonna end it here. We
Hmm.
are so proud of you, Pocket Rocket. You have given Jamaica your heart. You have left it all on the track, even up to the last race that you run that relay leg. I can tell you, there's a lot still left inside of you for your next endeavor, whatever you're gonna take on next. I know you're gonna still be a champion, and you got our support, Shelly. So big up yourself, big up Jamaica. One love, one Jamaica,
Yeah.
one real talk, real money. See you another day.
All right.
Blessings.
Yes, sir. Sure.